So I've been building up a set of shocks for a Tamiya TT02R. These are the plastic old fill dampers that the R comes with. And one thing I noticed when building them is that there's a lot of friction in the shocks, even without any oil in the dampers, which I wasn't very happy with. The suspension just didn't feel right. So what I've tried is swapping out the red rubber O-rings that the shocks come with. These two little red O-rings. What I've done is I've swapped them out with the TRF O-rings, this part number here. I have had some old ones laying around from a set of shocks I'd rebuilt. So instead of using the two O-rings, I'm using a single clear O-ring with a bit of green slime on it for lubrication. And then one plastic spacer, that's the Tamiya plastic spacer out of the TRF damper rebuild kit. And that seems to give a much smoother shock while still sealing nicely. Obviously it's very easy to make a shock nice and smooth, but if the oil leaks out, that's also not much use. But I think because these are all Tamiya parts, they seem to be exactly the right size for these shocks. So this part number 53574 gives you 4 of those clear O-rings and 4 of the little white plastic spacers, and using those gives you a much smoother shock, and the shocks are still sealing nicely. So I've been filling these up with oil and checking them, and there's no air coming in as I'm pumping them up and down. So if you've got the TT02R kit with these plastic dampers, I definitely suggest getting a set of these seals for them, as the car felt really horrible with these kit kind of brown O-rings in them. It just felt like there was so much friction in the suspension. You could kind of feel when you press the car down, it didn't come back up again because the O-rings were just grabbing the shock shaft so tightly. And I think I felt that on a couple of cars that I've seen at the track, and I wasn't really sure what was causing it. And I think this is probably part of the reason. It's because there's so much stiction in these brown O-rings. So if you can, spend the £7 or £8 to just upgrade the seals in these plastic dampers, and the car will feel a whole lot nicer out on track.